This is Bill Kimler, co-host of the Black, White, and Blue in the South podcast. This Halloween, stand out from the crowd with ZJZDesigns.com. Their brand new limited edition spooky prints are here to haunt your wardrobe in the best way possible. With 5 new chilling designs, you'll be ready for trick-or-treating, haunted houses, and everything this spooky season has to offer. Whether you're getting festive for the holidays or just looking for unique, high-quality designs to up your style game, ZJZDesigns.com has you covered. Shop now at ZJZDesigns.com and discover the t-shirts that'll make you stand out in any season. Don't get caught without the coolest Halloween t-shirt. Grab yours before they disappear. ZJZDesigns.com.
The All About Nothing podcast may have language and content
that isn't appropriate for some.
Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, Nothingers, to the All About Nothing podcast. This is episode number 277. I am Barrett Gruber. I'm joined by Zach King. Welcome, Zach.
Hi, Barrett.
I promise this will be an episode filled with nothing but obscure Charlie Quirk references.
Charlie Quirks.
How about that cover?
And Toronto Dump.
Yeah, plenty of Donald Trump. That's not what you said. You said Trump.
Toronto Dump.
Dump. Toronto Dump. Please subscribe and share the show. That's how we get new listeners. Also, please consider supporting the show financially by visiting theallaboutnothing.com, becoming an official member, proudly calling yourself a true nothinger. We'll have more details on that at the end of the show. If you can't do that, give us a 5-star review, a like, and follow us across all social media. You can find links at theallaboutnothing.com. Got to announce Soul House Sessions with Priest Jacobs, October 22nd at the Koger Center for the Arts. Doors open at 5. The conversation starts at 6. This Soul Sessions is going to be all about the Colacon, Columbia's hip-hop Comic Con anniversary. Dan Lish is flying in from across the sea. He does a bunch of artwork that Preach has shown me, and it's very cool. But Dan Lish is going to be one of the people there that's going to be featured. So come check it out. Tickets available at Eventbrite.
Or you saying Dan Lish?
Dan Lish.
Okay. I thought you said Danny Lish. Like, no, just quiet on the licious part.
Dan Lish. Lish. You can also check the show notes or follow Preach at Preach Jacobs on the Instagram. So I want to jump. I actually want to jump right into something. I just want to kick it off by starting with this.
Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rapes? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
I feel like he gave something a little bit away on that.
Yeah, he's like, quit beating them up. They're just people.
So Ted Cruz, senator from Texas, that little verbal slip up went viral this week. It was during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on Tuesday, September 30th, that was focused on Trump's administration law enforcement actions in New Jersey. Their actions. And Cory Booker stressed a need for Congress to find a bipartisan way of coming up with solutions. So Ted Cruz, in a moment of just
Freudian slip,
yeah,
is the excuse of this.
I guess he was trying to ad lib, and he said that let's stop attacking pedophiles. What was did he ever clarify what he meant to say? I am reading through the article that was published in People. It says that in a statement to People, a spokesperson for the senator later noted that the internet fuss about Cruz's comments came from a stray word. It was a verbal slip. Senator Cruz was rattling off a series of crimes we should unite in opposing, started a sentence about opposing pedophilia, and added a stray word while talking it out.
Let's stop attacking pedophiles. Where's the stray word?
Attacking, maybe? Maybe he just meant to say, let's stop pedophiles?
Let's take attacking out. Let's stop pedophiles. That works. Maybe say that.
Okay, so to clarify, attacking is an intentional word. So the way that our brains work, left and right brain, that sort of thing, there are things that are intentional, there are things that are subconscious. Attacking is a word that's used specifically to add emphasis to something. So the word is intentionally used. I'm just breaking down the science of how our mind works.
Wait. Yeah.
Attacking,
He was telling us to leave Trump alone.
that's what he was trying to tell us to do. That's what he was trying to tell us to do. It's ultimately, it's a really weird thing to slip up on. And then not just to say, like his office absolutely could have just come out and been like, you know what? I misspoke. I was thinking of something else and I shouldn't have said that. Obviously, I am not in favor of not attacking pedophiles. Okay, let's not attack anybody. The whole prefacing the fact that he also said, to stop murders and stop that we should have bipartisan bills to stop these things. Yeah, sure. We already have laws on the books to stop murder. We have laws on the books to stop lots of things. Stop rapes. There are things already in place for this.
Let's stop stopping rapes.
Yeah.
Wait. No. What did I say? God.
The likelihood of falling down into a hole is just, it's way too easy.
You had to think the other members in the House had to be like, oh, he's talking.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, just to show you, well, not to show you, I guess, but I have to imagine that despite the fact the camera was really only on him at the time, I got to imagine that some of the other senators in that committee were probably looking at their stuff and just going, no, he's right. We should stop murders. Definitely should stop rapes. Stop attacking pedophiles.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. You don't happen to have any awesome clips of senators attacking Pete Hegseth, do you?
No, I didn't pull any of those. I do want to talk about that. Real quick, though, I do want to also thank Shelby and O'Shawn for welcoming us back into the Hall of Horrors. Of course, the Hall of Horrors is going on right now, open Fridays and Saturdays through the month of October. You can check hallofhorrors.org where you can get your tickets and also check the calendar. Want to thank Mike Gatto for being on the podcast last week. Mike Gatto was fantastic. In fact, I am going to apologize to you in the first minute and a half, 2 minutes of the opening of the show. I will just say that Mike came to your defense, sort of.
To mine?
Yeah.
You were shitting on me, and Sean Legacy wasn't there to stick up, but I did have Mike Gate.
Yeah. It was just a little bit. Yeah, it was just a little bit. But no, I've already gotten some feedback from listeners in Los Angeles that ultimately, Mike, if you're watching or listening, would like you to run for office again. So I think that's pretty outstanding. Also, and this one is one that I have missed, and I apologized. I don't think my apology went as far as what she would have appreciated, but I do want to thank Ami, hostess of the Welcome to Wonderland podcast, for being my director and my engineer for the recordings that we did at the Hall of Horrors, because ultimately, if she had not been there, it would have made it more difficult and not as smooth. So very much appreciate that. And
is she there in the room with you now? Does she have a gun, Barrett? You have to tell us.
No, she isn't. For those of you listening at home, there was a blink joke in there. I was blinking.
The YouTubes.
That's right. You gotta watch the YouTube. Clip that. Let's see. That was. I guess I want to make a bit of a segue from that pedophile thing to another pedophile thing.
Ooh.
Can't wait to see what the AI thinks the title of this episode should be.
Yeah, 2025 is great. Yeah.
RJ May pled guilty to
he did.
his crimes as far as, so now we cannot just say he was allegedly. He wasn't just indicted. He is now criminally convicted felon for the possession and distribution of CSAMs, childhood sexual abuse material.
He's a bona fide pedophile.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got to register. Like, if he ever gets out of jail, I don't think they make them have signs in their yards anymore, but you have to register as a pedophile or a criminal sexual deviant or something like that. Like, you'll be on websites like Nextdoor, the app, the social media network app, will have whatever designation on your profile now, which
he may end up liking prison, doing like push up and drag and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes for him.
Yeah, I think it's 5 specific charges. Each one of them carries the potential of 5 years in jail or in prison and
Each, yeah.
$1,000 fine for each. So we will see. I think that what I've heard is that the suspicion is that he still thinks he may get a presidential pardon, which is it does feel comical, but at the same time, I gotta be honest, I think it's possible. I mean,
he's like, Marjorie, come get me, fellow Freedom Caucuser. Let's see it. Jim Jordan, please help me.
I mean,
can you just talk to Trump for me?
I gotta believe there's the possibility. I mean, Trump and A.G. Wilson are friends. A.G. Wilson and, R.J. May are friends. Like, Attorney General for South Carolina, Alan Wilson, did not investigate or prosecute in any way, shape, or form R.J. May. But they have gone after several other people that are convicted, or not convicted, are alleged to have done the same thing in the state, like in the last 2 months. The state has investigated, but they didn't investigate R.J. May, despite all the rumors.
It wouldn't be the most surprising thing if he got a pardon, but it also just speaks to like the sycophants when they get caught doing the thing they've been rallying against, that they're going to be ignored. And that's the most hilarious part, because he's like, why do you forsaken me? I've done so much, great leader. Please help me. Like, leave him. Like,
it's insane. But yeah, so RJ May, I believe sentencing is supposed to be later this month, but he is definitely not going to, I don't think he's going to skate this one. I think the likelihood is he's probably going to do some time before he gets that presidential pardon. And it's a federal crime, so, he could. I don't know.
Called Trump, like, you have a collect call from Lexington County Penitentiary, whatever.
The Lawrence County Federal Prison, brought to you by Ozempic.
Will you accept these charges? I don't think so.
Oh, he'll accept them. I have zero doubt. I think Trump, honestly,
Ghislaine, is that you?
Wait, I'll be honest. Some of the time, the way that some of these like reporters and Congress people and things like that, they talk about like their accessibility to Donald Trump, like they can just text him or call him like at 3:00 in the morning, and he'll take their calls because he's already up. But like it's like there was one congressperson who says that like he every other night he'll text Trump like in the middle of the night, and then they'll just start texting back and forth, and they'll get on the phone, and then so the question rises, what is it you're talking about? Like, are you talking about like the budget? Are you talking about programs and things like that Congress and the president should be discussing, that sort of thing? He's like, no, we talk about, his golf score from this weekend, or we talk about how his kids are doing or how his grandkids are doing, because I have grandkids. Like, it's a weird conversation. Like, there's plenty of things that you could very easily have conversations with Donald Trump at 3:00 in the morning about things like, healthcare and the government shutdown and stuff like that. No, that's not what they're focused on. Whatever.
I was going to mention too, while we were here, the QAnon shaman filing the $40 trillion lawsuit against Trump.
I mean, $40 trillion. $40 trillion.
There was another, I'm trying to find, because there was a second thing in there where he was claiming like he created something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's basically it's this whole like he is taking responsibility for he should also be president. There's some accusations that the QAnon shaman has put in this lawsuit that appear to indicate that he should be the one that is the president of the United States right now. It's the weirdest thing. There are so many things about this current timeline, and I'm just going to pull something up. Kimmler sent me. So Kimmler sends me this back and forth with AI. I think it was with, let me see. Yeah. So he did this with ChatGPT. So let me read this to you. So it says, how many times has the U.S. government shut down under Donald Trump? This was his question to the AI. So this is what it came back with. Under Donald Trump, the U.S. government shut down 3 times. January 20th, 2022, in 2018. That was a 3-day shutdown. February 9th of 2018, a brief overnight shutdown. December 22nd to January 25th of 2019, it was the longest shutdown in U.S. history, lasting 35 days. Okay, 3, not counting the current one. So he asks, what about the current shutdown? Why didn't you include that in your list? So here's what it says. And this is a little disturbing. It comes back and says, oh, good catch. The reason I didn't include the current shutdown in the list is because it's happening under President Joe Biden, October 2025, not Donald Trump.
What?
Trump's presidency ended in January of 2021, so his shutdown record is limited to those 3 shutdowns in 2018 through 2019. The current shutdown is the first one during President Biden's presidency. I think the QAnon shaman is here from a different dimension or a different universe where he thinks he is the president. Whatever version of ChatGPT that Bill was talking to, I think, is in another multiverse.
Do we want to see where Gemini lands on this?
Please, that would be fantastic. So you asked Gemini, but I wonder if we're not seeing the convergence of different universes just kind of like overlapping.
Let's see it. Hey, Gemini, how many shutdowns have happened under Donald Trump's administration?
Okay, so under Donald Trump's presidency, there have been a few government shutdowns. The most recent one started on October 1st, 2025, and is still ongoing. Before that, there were shutdowns in January 2018, and from December 2018 to January 2019. Want me to find out how long those lasted?
Tell me exactly how many shutdowns there have been.
Under the Trump administration, there have been 3 government shutdowns. The first one was in January 2018, the second from December 2018 to January 2019, and the third one started on October 1st, 2025, and is still ongoing.
See, that's different than what he had. So he had January 20th to 22nd of 2018, February 9th, 2018. So maybe they're not counting the February 9th, 2018 just because it was very brief. It was only overnight.
Yeah.
So
Must be not a full shutdown. Gemini, have you heard of the All About Nothing podcast?
Ah, All About Nothing. Yes, I've heard of it. It's a comedy podcast hosted by Seinfeld alums, right?
way off.
No, I think he's right on. You don't remember your stint on Seinfeld?
Yeah, I was Kramer's other favorite neighbor, not Newman, but Gruber, right down the hall.
Gruber.
That segues perfectly though into so we'll talk about the government shutdown a little bit because I think it's important to note some of the facts about it. It did start on October 1st, as that is the end of the 2025 fiscal year, the start of the 2026 fiscal year. Basically there is a clean bill that the House passed back on September 19th. That I guess when you call it a clean bill, it only really appropriates funding to just continue the way it is. And the Senate Democrats are not joining in with the necessary 9 votes to get it to 60 votes in order to bring it to the floor so that the Senate can vote for it and pass it. And mostly that's because the Republicans will not debate with them in discussions about the bill in order to make sure things like the premiums subsidies stay intact for ACA healthcare recipients. Not passing that means we stay in a shutdown, but the Republicans are blaming the Democrats because the Democrats wanting to maintain those subsidies for ACA premiums, the Republicans are claiming that those are free health care for illegal immigrants to the United States. It's a weird argument.
That's this whole thing is why are you shutting the government down meme where sticking the stick in your own tire spoke. I think they shut it down so they can fire people. The Project 2025 agenda where he goes, now I have the opportunity to get rid of all the bloated, unneeded workers in federal government. Like it's an opportunity to fire people.
What? I don't even think that's really the case, because I think that anyone that would potentially get fired during this has the federal government isn't a right to work situation. It's not there are unions and things that protect people under the federal government. I don't think that you can be fired without cause. There can be a layoff, things like that, but I haven't heard, Doge isn't doing that anymore. I think one of the reasons that, at least from the House's perspective, that they are perfectly fine with there continuing to be a shutdown means that Mike Johnson doesn't have to bring everybody back, where the potential is he has to swear in this one new Democrat that's been elected to the House in a special election that would ultimately give 18 signatures to bring a vote to the floor to release the Epstein files to the public, or bring them at least to Congress so they can be in evidence. I think that is absolutely one of the benefits of this, is that Mike Johnson can continue to kick the can down the road on the release of these Epstein files. And I think that we get so distracted by everything else going on that ultimately people lose sight of the fact that this is all just to distract us away from the Epstein files. Ultimately.
Mike Johnson's such a weirdo. He's the one, again, that him and his son check on each other to make sure that they don't watch porn, right?
I said, look, I will never kink shame anyone. But whatever Mike Johnson and his adopted son do and share between each other is none of my business. And Mike Johnson, I blame you for telling us about that.
Yeah, what a weirdo. Like, he was like, look how virtuous we are. And everyone's like, that's kind of gay. Like,
it's a little odd. And then I was enlightened to know, thanks to Bill Kemmler during one of the Daily shows, that apparently it's not his youngest child. It's not his youngest son. I don't know how old his kids are.
It's like his adult child.
Yeah, because they adopted somebody it was a black male that they adopted. I assumed it was sort of like a blindside situation. Yeah. Mike Johnson thought he was Sandra Bullock, whatever. Again,
wears everything, the dress and.
But they adopted. I think there's only like 4 years difference between him and his adopted son.
No way.
I gotta look it up. How
that
old
makes it even funnier.
Is Mike Johnson's?
Did you see the woman confront him? And she's like, the president is unhinged. And he's like, well, you got unhinged people on your side too. The whole time he's not defending the fact that, yes, the president's unhinged. We're all a little crazy around here, right?
Yeah. Well, what was it? She said that he was. What did she say? She said that, did you see Trump's speech? Da 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 da. He's
not well.
And rather than defending the president, Mike Johnson goes, well, you have people on your side too, acknowledging exactly what she said. Donald Trump's unhinged. Yeah. I agree with you, but you have some unhinged people on your side too.
It came with, I agree, but this one's my crazy person. You have crazy people too.
But they're not doing anything about their crazy person. No. At least on the Democrat side, you sometimes, like, something crazy happens, then there's an investigation. There's an the Democrats will hold ethics investigations against themselves.
Right.
I'm trying to pull up this adopted son thing.
That's like when people try to defend like the Epstein list and they're like, Clinton's on there too. And we're like, the fuck do I care that Bill Clinton's on there? Go put him in jail.
Okay. So here's the Mike Johnson thing. So House Speaker Mike Johnson adopted son Michael James, age 40 currently. Mike Johnson is 51.
Okay, so 11-year difference there.
James was...
He adopted an adult.
James was like an adolescent when he was adopted. So he's sharing, and that's who he's supposed to be sharing his porn habits with.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we're saying it wrong. It's an app. It's some
an app
sort
that
of
it tells on the other person to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
You jerked it for 10 minutes. I got the notification on my phone. I'm really disappointed.
It gave him 4 stars.
Oh my God.
Mike Johnson, breaking news, Mike Johnson, age 51, can jerk off for 9 minutes. Okay, the question, and this might not be appropriate for the show. What is he thinking about?
I hope it gives details like what they watched, how long they watched it. Oh my God. And then you call him like, put your dick down.
Here's your 40-year-old son calling his 51-year-old father. Dad, my alarm notifications keep going off. I'm sitting in church right now, and I can't explain what it is you're doing.
Your heart rate is elevated.
The title's weird. UFOs and other bimbos. Feet. What is this? Were they just trying to rhyme something?
I gotta wonder what Dick Avengers is, Dad. I'm real confused.
I don't know. So
I'm a man. I'm 40. I'll do it all.
So now we're reversing roles. See, I only saw it as his son was having to monitor him and not necessarily the other way around, because Mike Johnson's the deviant in this case.
Dad, you went all week without an incident.
As again, not kink shaming. I don't care what people do in the privacy of their own homes. It's not my business. Doesn't affect me one way or the other.
It's a whole different kind of blindside going on in this.
So the illegals, Republicans, believe that the Democrats are trying to give
your speaker. Hold on. That's your speaker.
Free socialized healthcare to are basically anyone in the country illegally. But that isn't actually true. The United States doesn't allow for you to sign up for healthcare under the Affordable Care Act unless, of course, you are either one of the Dreamers, an asylum seeker, a refugee status, or a green card holder. The only people that can do it. And that's because they are currently in a state of a legal status in the United States that's recognized as someone that is here for a reason. So what the Republicans are proposing as to why they will not allow for the shutdown to end and negotiations on this clean bill, it is absurd, because that's not what the Democrats are doing. And the Republicans know that this isn't the case because they have the clean bill. It doesn't open health care up for anybody and everyone. So it's weird.
Yep. It makes no sense in this land of backwards and mystery, where you have control of the House and the Senate and the presidency. You blame the Democrats for shutting down the government.
Yeah, I had somebody in one of my comments say, you do know they need 60 votes in order to get the bill to the floor of the Senate. I said, it's not my fault there's a filibuster. I said, I've been in favor of getting rid of the filibuster for years.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me in the least. We're in this situation.
Get Ted Cruz up there to filibuster how we should quit attacking pedophiles.
I feel like this episode's going to be a lot about pedophiles.
It's not our fault they riddle the right-wing side of the government.
On to the next subject. I can tie this one back to the pedophile thing. President Trump's executive order 14327 is the restoration of the presidential fitness test. And if you think you know where I'm going on this and attaching it to
Donald Trump's going to make a exercise video where he's wearing that white polo and those hot shorts. It's got a jumping jack. Got him off with me.
So this long unused program that has been available for presidents, as far as this idea of there being a fitness test, has always been something that's been in the presidential fitness thing for children and adolescents, but it's not really been used. Reagan had Schwarzenegger as a spokesperson, as a celebrity spokesperson for this. Donald Trump had Bryson DeChambeau, golfer, right?
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor is
LT's out there.
Is he allowed to be around kids?
Didn't he kill a guy?
The LT? Yeah.
Was it LT who did that? Or that was the other one for the Ravens, Ray Lewis?
Ray Lewis, well, yeah. I don't think he was adjudicated or anything like that, but there were suspicions. Lawrence Taylor,
allegedly.
I don't want to say what it is Lawrence Taylor did because I don't know, but I think there was something involved with something that would potentially.
Let's not speculate. We'll leave that to the rights. Let's keep going.
Triple H.
This is all who he's putting like in this task force.
This is his task force.
Okay.
If there were a task force, this is the task force he chose. These are the people that stood behind him during the announcement.
Very stable group of geniuses here.
Triple H. I know he's a wrestler.
He took Vince McMahon's spot. He is in charge of the WWE.
Is that for show, or is this because
I think it's like when the fiction sees the real to a point. Like TMZ was like, "Oh, Vince McMahon has come out of his hotel and he signed some autographs after working out," and I'm like, "Isn't this all pretend stuff?" When he got kicked out, and then the fiction does see the real because his wife is in charge of the education thing, Vince
Department
McMahon.
of Education?
Yeah, so I don't know anymore. I think it's all bleeding together. Unfortunately for all of us, we can't tell the pretend anymore.
Like I said, I think my theory is that we have multiversal universes like melding, and that's why ChatGPT is wrong. That's why the QAnon shaman thinks that he's supposed to be president, and that apparently $40 trillion is attainable in a lawsuit.
Well, and the Atlas B or whatever's skyrocketing, its 3i Atlas is heading its way here. It's an amalgam of insanity.
I enjoyed one of the recent videos about the 3i Atlas where it said that they aimed the James Webb Telescope at it. Whatever radiation signal thing that they shot at it from the James Webb Telescope apparently just reduced its batteries of whatever that was down to like nothing. Like they only had one shot at getting this image, and they shot this radar at it or whatever it was. And then when it hit it, apparently 3 objects dislodged from the thing. And apparently one of them went to Mars. One of them is headed to Venus. And another one should be here at Earth, like in the next few days. Like after this or before this episode is aired, I assume.
I've never heard so much bullshit around a space rock in my life, dude.
It's a fucking
They're like, it's super heavy. It's on our plane. Or maybe it came from the Kuiper Belt. Like, what? If you go to NASA and you look at their shit, not any part of it, or they're like, we don't know. No, they're like, it's a rock. They're like, it's in space. It's a comet.
So here's, one of the big things that they say. Well, okay, before we jump onto that, I just want to finish this. So they're reintroducing standardized fitness testing, introducing of the Presidential Fitness Award, which the president apparently gets to make a decision on which child is the fittest in the United States, along with the Department of Education.
Not a good look for his past.
Along with the Department of Education, which is, of course, Mrs. McMahon. She is the Secretary of Department of Education. HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy. They will apparently be setting the criteria. The grand focus on it is competition over health. So not necessarily fitness in the sense of trying to be healthier. It's fitness so that you can be more competitive.
What do you win? What are we competing for?
This Presidential Fitness Award. I assume it's going to be like some gold medallion or something like that.
Here's Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, I'll tell you this. If you're going to do that, that should be like a mandatory litmus test for any Congress and Senate, any branch of the government. If you can't pass it, you're out.
I'll say this, as far as the president of the United States trying to distance himself from anything related to pedophilia, to be so concerned about children's fitness is a little on the nose.
Yeah.
I'm not making accusations. I'm just saying there's something to be drawn, correlation there.
Mm-hmm.
As well, I feel like Pete Hegseth in front of those 800 generals this week was one of the most disturbing things I've seen. And I think that it's not from the perspective of his Pete Hegseth trying to set up some sort of a oath to the president rather than an oath to the Constitution. I was more concerned about the fact that Pete Hegseth seems to think that our military generals are all a bunch of fuggos and beardos. Yeah. And like, dude, they're not sexually attractive enough for him currently. And that's the part that's the thing that I got.
I want to see your face, baby. I want to see your face.
Pete Hegseth is very concerned about the physical appearance of the men representing the generals and admirals of our military. That's the takeaway. Because ultimately, why does a 60-year-old general who probably still has at least a good 10 years ahead of them as far as like experience and knowledge, and he's not going to be toting a rucksack through the desert I don't even think our military does that anymore. We have drones for that, right? So what do you need the military generals to be in some form of, or to be able to pass a test twice a year?
Well, as far as I understood with the beard thing, you still can't, like, regular enlisted men can't just have a beard.
Correct.
Right? You can have a mustache, but your mustache would be way out of regulation.
Yeah. It's gotta stop here.
Those beardo guys are like your Navy SEALs and shit that are in the shit.
Wait, does it have to stop under the new? Does it stop here?
More mustache. Under the new regime, it's here.
Under the new regime, this is where the mustache stops. Those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for subscribing.
Yeah, that's
Clip that.
I want to show you the new mustache. You just do this. If it goes any further, you're out of regulation. God, yeah, what a dumb thing.
It's a little weird, but yeah, so I don't get it. Also, Donald Trump during that same presentation, and I've said it already, but was the most low energy Donald Trump I have seen in ever, I think.
There's an N-word. There's two N-words.
There's two. I'm not allowed to say them. It is weird. It was weird. I feel like that's what Democrats' messaging needs to go back to, is just calling out the weird things. Call out, when you see fascism, call it out. But if it's just weird, just be on it.
Donald Trump wants to say N-word.
That's weird.
Both of them.
Both of the N-words he wants to say. There's nuclear.
Sir, we're not sure what both of them are. Could you just say them both one time? We give you a mulligan.
Need you to clarify, please.
Yeah. We won't hold it against you. Just say them both.
We know you've said them both before. It's perfectly fine. Don't worry about that.
Matter of fact, spell it.
Acida.
Is that how you say that?
It was his reaction. You know what? A lot of it was his reaction to recognizing that he didn't know how to pronounce it.
That he sounds like a dipshit. Yeah.
Acida. How do we pronounce that?
It's a lot of letters after that part.
He got 4. He got 5. He got 5.
SC. Well. That word is hydroxychloroquine. No? Acetaminophen.
How did you get that word? Bleach. We could put bleach in there. Everything's bleach.
Don't take Tylenol, take bleach. Works. UV light on the inside of your body. Yeah.
I don't feel like I left anything out, but I
think the president was onto something with the bleach.
You know what? Real quick, RFK. What is? How do you feel about being involved in the president's program, physical fitness on kids and things? That's really what I'm curious about. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Live from the tar pit.
You figure he shows something.
I think it shows a lot of link to autism. The Amish have no autism. Or electricity.
Because historically, a lot of people that are in the Amish community using modern doctors and things like that, and going to hospitals and taking tests to determine their potential of being on the spectrum. A lot of Amish people doing that sort of thing.
Yeah. When you start acting weird, they Hosea comes and beats your ass and puts you behind the ox. Like, how do we know? They're not going to the fucking doctors, you dipshit. All we know is Ezekiel was really into the Bible.
Again, weird. Just a weird claim. Like that would be like saying, well, 100% of white people don't like seasoning on their. They 100% of white people prefer boiled chicken. I don't think that's true. I find it hard to believe. Show me the data.
Hundreds of millions of data set information. None. Going with this one. Going with the none.
But just so that in case someone has stumbled onto this episode The reason that we have seen an uptick in the number of people that have been diagnosed as being on the spectrum is purely because the testing for it has become more explicit. And there are different elements to that testing that trigger what it is to be considered on the spectrum. So as that test improves, yes, more and more people are determined to be on the spectrum. And it's not a kiss of death. There is absolutely nothing wrong with someone who has some sort of autistic tendencies or is on the spectrum.
Yeah.
I have told people time and time again that having a child that is on the spectrum is like having a child that has fucking superpowers. It makes me emotional to think about it because my daughter, Emmeline, is slightly on the spectrum. Brody is slightly on the spectrum. But it is such a benefit to know what it is that does for them and how they learn and what they can do.
Right.
So to make a child feel like there's something wrong with them, fuck you.
To sit there and try to eradicate it like you would cancer or AIDS or something, and we gotta fix it. It's like that's probably, for all we know, the next step in human evolution is some form of autism.
Right.
You just don't. It's so stupid, and this is not the administration that's going to figure it out. Promise you that.
Especially. Yeah, you know why? Because the call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
You look at all of the people that are in his administration, you have to look at them and be like, fucking Pete Hegseth, his superpower is clearly just whatever it is he does. Like RFK, I don't know how you can't look at him and not go, this is a guy that dives too deep into things. And maybe if someone had treated this earlier on, he may have figured out a way to focus some of this that he gives attention to. Donald Trump.
There's also a man who swam in sewage with his grandchildren.
For the 4th of July.
And they were posted signs. You know what it reminded me of? Like Lake Placid. How they were, or not Lake Placid. What was it? Dante's
Alligator?
Peak. Dante's Peak at the beginning, it has a big sign like Magmo things, do not swim, and those people die. If this was Dante's Peak, you would have died. It's just, what the fuck is this guy?
It's weird.
Clearly he thinks he's right, not on an even deceiving level.
You know what? And RFK Jr.'s right, and I feel for him on that.
Yeah.
That's as far as I'm going to go on that. Does it make your throat hurt a little bit when you hear it?
That guy just needs one good...
I just, it breaks my heart to know that there are people out there that are trying to make others, either parents or children, feel bad about the gifts that they have. And it drives me nuts that is such a focus for an administration that said that they were going to bring down the price of groceries. They're going to bring down the price of gas. They're going to bring down inflation. They were going to bring down the interest. None of it's happened. I mean, gas here in South Carolina last week, I paid $2.79 a gallon for gas. Today, I saw it's down to $2.49. The fluctuation is unnecessary. I don't need that. Just bring it, get it low and keep it low.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with the president. He's done nothing to do that. We don't have any deals with Saudi Arabia or OPEC or Russia or anybody to reduce the price of our fuel, because even if we bring more oil into the country, we don't have the refineries to be able to produce gasoline.
And the Ford CEO came on and was talking about they have all these bays empty, no mechanics and stuff like that. You're just making it worse.
The jobs report, because of the government shutdown, the jobs report didn't come out for the month of September. And everything that is preliminary to it seems to indicate that we likely, had it come out, would have seen the worst job numbers that we have seen since COVID. And
so why didn't that come out?
Because of the government shutdown.
Oh.
Again.
Okay.
Convenient.
Yeah.
We don't get to swear in the 218th signature to the release of the Epstein files because of the government shutdown.
It's going to stay shut down for the remainder 3 years.
Wouldn't that? You know what, though? There is a benefit for us. I mean, it sucks for people that aren't getting paid for the jobs that they're doing because they are considered essential workers like TSA and people, but I don't know of those groups who actually isn't getting paid. Like I'd have to hear it from their own mouths. Somebody says I'm working. I didn't get a paycheck this week.
Oh, then I'm not working.
I don't disagree with you.
That's the simplest shit ever. I'm not working now. Asshole president. Thank you.
Yeah. Or Congress or, whoever.
We know who's pulling the reins over here.
Yeah, I think that if ultimately, and again, if all of this is just to distract us away from the Epstein files or the release of the Epstein files, I don't understand why, that being 1 plus 1 equals 2. The plus 1 is the fact that if Donald Trump's not in it, then there shouldn't be any reason to fear releasing it. Donald Trump shouldn't be afraid of that.
Who's to say when you do that, you sign that you don't get a completely doctored?
It's going to be doctored anyway, because that was one of the things that the FBI and the the Justice Department had already acknowledged, that they were going through and removing any instance of Donald Trump's name in reference to Jeffrey Epstein. Well, the whole document's Jeffrey Epstein. This is testimony.
It's a one-pager. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Donald Trump is mentioned in there, if he didn't do anything wrong, then let's have a trial. Let's see if a jury of his peers finds him guilty or innocent
I don't
based
have
on
any
the
peers.
information.
Right.
I don't know.
That's the quote of 2025. I don't know.
Well, I will wrap it up by saying that I definitely think that we are seeing our multiverse and other universes in this multiverse are now trying to collide. And
I like your theory. Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this brings us back to 3-Eye Atlas. The end is nigh.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a comet. It is a comet. Ice can be made up of different things. Ice can be made up of, it can either be hydrogen H2O, it can be CO2. You can have ice CO2. One of the things that NASA said, or that at least people reporting that NASA said, is that the cloud, the comet tail that's coming off of, is mostly made up of carbon dioxide. Well, guess what?
Can't it be like methane too or something? I can't remember.
Anything.
Yeah.
We have a moon. One of Saturn's moons is nothing but solid methane. So
Right. Just the conspiracy theorists and alien people out there. I'm an alien dude. If I'm wrong, you'll be too worried about it being in the sky to come back and tell me I was wrong. I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. That
you wouldn't see like alien hit like just aliens on the news everywhere. They're here. You wouldn't be like, I'm going to tell that fucker he was wrong.
That's the first call I'm making, Zach. Remember when you said on episode 277 that it wasn't
It's
aliens
a rock.
and now it's aliens?
Yeah. I'd be like, touche.
That is... That's one for you, none for me.
We'll bring it to the overlords, our new alien overlords.
What else can you do? I don't know. Hey, tell me about Grindhouse. I'm seeing ads.
Yeah, Grindhouse is awesome, man. They just got a bunch of new decks in right there in Irmo. Go check it out. See Wyatt, see Jeremy, their store. They're always getting new merch in. I just got a sneak peek of their new merch last night. It's awesome. They they'll buy any used clothes you have in there, especially they lean towards more skater wear and stuff like that. But they thrift and they go through and they'll sell you some used stuff. They got good used clothes, new clothes, awesome shoe selection, anything you need for skateboarding. Even you can buy a deck, they'll grip tape it for you. You can pick out your trucks, your wheels, your bearings, all of that. They'll put it together, assemble it for you. Wyatt has turned gripping a skate deck into an art. You can do like designs into it now and stuff like that into the grip tape. It's really sick. I suggest anybody go check that out.
Grindhouse Skate Shop in Irmo. You can look them up on Facebook. I will put some show notes. I'll put the links in the show notes so that you can go check that out. But very cool.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
I can't wait for him to invite us over there to do an episode from the Grindhouse.
We will. Anytime we want to do it, we can do it.
That'd be cool. All right, sir. Well, I feel like we've disenfranchised enough people today.
Sorry, pedophiles. Well, just know Ted Cruz is in your corner. People are sometimes going to start attacking you.
Yeah. If you ever feel attacked, just know Ted Cruz does not want you to be attacked.
Help me, Ted Cruz. Help me.
It's going to do it for episode number 277. Zach King, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you too, Barrett.
And
good luck to you on this Sunday of football.
Yeah.
Hopefully your fantasy league prevails.
Falcons are off.
Tech was off too, weren't they?
Tech was off this weekend. Falcons were off. Carolina was off. There, for me, I did watch Alabama and Georgia. I did watch
Alabama Vandy.
That was
Love seeing Pavia get put in his place.
Yeah. I watched the Cubs lose basically in the first 2 innings of the wild card or the division series. That was hard to take because I'm pulling for the Cubs now. That the Braves are of course not in it, and Boston's not in it. So Cubs are the only ones I got left. So I'm going to say the Cubs are going to make a comeback. They'll win today. They'll win Tuesday and Wednesday, and they'll win Thursday in Chicago. And then, this episode will come out after that. So
if the aliens haven't come tell Barrett he was wrong.
That's right. But if Chicago wins and they advance to the National League Championship, the mustache is staying, at least, because I know that despite the fact that I give no credence whatsoever to superstitions, this worked.
Barrett wouldn't shave the mustache. He now looks like the Snorlax.
Links to all of our past episodes, podcast platforms, merchandise, and social media available on our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com. And if you think our financial model of giving away free content and entertainment is silly and you're in the giving mood, why not become an official Nothinger and support the show? Members get early access to this episode as well as exclusive content. You can visit members.theallaboutnothing.com, or you can find a link on our webpage. You can also give a one-time donation through the same link. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can call and leave us a message, 803-672-0533. You can email the show at theallaboutnothing.com, or you can join our Discord server. Links found on our webpage. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. You all stay safe, be kind, and
keep your hands to yourself.
The All About Nothing podcast is a product of Big Media and produced and engineered by me, Barrett Gruber. Thanks to Cake for our intro music, Sick of You. You can follow everything Cake the band at cakemusic.com. Thanks to Muff the producer for our outro music. You can follow Muff on Instagram at Muff the producer. You can follow me across social media by visiting Linktree/Barrett Gruber. And you can follow Zach King on Linktree/AANZach. Want to support the show? Visit our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com, and become a member. There are several tiers available that give you early access to episodes as well as exclusive content. To find links to our social media, podcast platforms, and merchandise to support the show, as well as past episodes, visit theallaboutnothing.com. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can email theshow@theallaboutnothing.com, or you can call our number and leave a message. Dial 803-672-0533. If the time between these episodes is more than you can handle, check out our sister shows. What the Pod Was That with Carrie, Zach, and myself. Welcome to Wonderland with Ami. Politically Speaking with Erica, Kirsten, and Emily. And Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jameel Brooks and Bill Kimmler. Please subscribe and share this show. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and punch that notification bell. Thank you for listening, and hear us next week. The preceding podcast is a product of Big Media, LLC, and is copyright 2025, all rights reserved.